City of brotherly love. The Rockies spending the weekend in Philadelphia, PA. That means they're in South Philly at the bank, Citizens Bank Park, on a toasty, warm Friday evening. Welcome to the weekend, everybody, and an official welcome to South Philly. The Rockies and Phils, final 3 games. They'll play against one another this year. They split a 4-game set earlier this season in Denver. And tonight is a special night for Philadelphia Phillies fans as they toasted Jim Thome, who's one of the great sluggers of his era and also one of the real good guys in baseball. He became the 38th player inducted into their Wall of Fame, and they trotted out a whole long list of greats. See Pat Burrell there in uniform, Juan Samuel, Mike Schmidt, Steve Carlton, lefties there, of course Charlie Manuel involved, and there the unveiling of Jim Thome's plaque. And I'll tell you, you know who stole the show after he gave a very warm speech to the crowd? His daughter. He's riding in the truck with his son right there. His daughter Lila just sung the national anthem. She was outstanding.
Nailed it. She nailed it. There's goosebumps throughout the entire stadium as she was singing. She was fantastic. Jim Thome was unbelievable. Great teammate, great human. I asked him one time for an autograph during spring training. We were stretching in center field, and he goes, "Yeah, hold on." Ran 5 minutes before the game, sprinted in, went into the dugout, grabbed a baseball, signed it, threw it to the bat boy, and then ran back out to finish stretching.
Are you serious? Wow.
Most incredible. And I was asking him because he was at the time a 500 home run club member. So
right.
I said, "Hey Jim, do you mind signing this because I'm starting a collection of 500 home run guys?" And that's what he did. He sprinted in and signed the ball that second.
What you didn't tell him is you're my first, and you're the first guy I've got in the 500 home run club. Jenny, you were down field level. What a special ceremony. It was pretty neat, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great, you guys. I mean, we got the chance to see all of his former teammates, a bunch of his former teammates here, and even Mark Reynolds played with him in Baltimore. He got the chance to walk up and give him a big hug there. So very exciting to start the weekend here in Philadelphia. But to kick things off for the Rockies and their offense, of course, it'll be Charlie Blackmon leading things off. This is a guy who's really concentrated this season, guys, on his home-road splits. He told me before the game today, he's so over the haters that only talk about Coors Field and the numbers inflating your stats. Well, for Charlie, on the road, you can tell he's evened things out, hitting .312 away from Coors Field. He has 64 hits. Home runs and the doubles are there as well. So for Charlie, he told me it's intentional. He's trying to see more pitches in that first at bat because pitches are really different for them. It's also for himself. So again, intentional. The numbers are splitting.
Jenny, we're gonna jump in. We apologize, having some microphone issues with Jenny's equipment down there. But to her point, Charlie Blackmon's splits are tremendous. Guys are always going to hit for a good average, you would figure, at Coors Field. But he's well over 300 out on the road. He's coming off a 4-for-6 day yesterday in Texas, 4 straight multi-hit ball games. He's a complete package. He is an outstanding all-around player.
And the thing is he made himself this player. I know just talking to him in spring training that he was going to go and make sure that he was going to see pitches. That was something that he wanted to accomplish. And not only did he accomplish it in spring training, it is carried over into the season. To Jenny's point, his pitches per plate appearance this year versus last year has jumped up significantly. And DJ LeMahieu, he says, whenever Charlie's hitting in front of me, I feel like I know what every pitch that pitcher has because Charlie is showing it to me.
Hey, he's done a lot of homework for the rest of the team. Here's the Southwest batting order tonight for the Rockies, and pretty typical that you'll see Charlie leading off and DJ LeMahieu batting second. We talked about a few moments ago, Cargo's still out of the lineup, hoping to start tomorrow, maybe Sunday at the latest. So it'll be Nolan Arenado batting third, then Dahl will bat fourth with the 17-game hitting streak. Parra, Nick Hundley, Ben Paulson back up and in the starting lineup. Daniel Descalso will play short. He'll bat eighth. Then John Gray's on the mound. And the youngest man on the Phillies roster, 22-year-old Jake Thompson. His first fastball is outside, ball 1. Jake At AAA Lehigh Valley this year, 21 starts, 11-5. He's been at 2 levels. He started the year in Reading in AA, and he misses there 2-0. This is not his major league debut. It is his second big league start. His first start, not so good.
Not so good because he wasn't able to throw his off-speed pitches for strikes. You look at the numbers that he had in AAA, the 2.50 ERA. That was 5th best in the International League. Had a 1.10 WHIP, which was 4th overall. This is the 3rd pitcher to have pitched now in the major leagues off of the Cole Hamels deal. So that obviously the Phillies got quite a load for Cole Hamels.
Yeah, absolutely they did. Here's the 2-1, and this is on the ground to second, and it's handled nicely by Cesar Hernandez. 1 out, and that'll bring up LeMahieu. And we take a look at the Philadelphia Phillies defense. Pretty solid up the middle. Galvis at shortstop, a good glove, and we talked about Hernandez just a moment ago. He's solid there. Borges is in right field, and back off of injury is Aaron Altair. He's in left field. You're looking at him now, and Odubel Herrera is in the middle. On the corners, Franco and Ryan Howard getting a start. Big Cameron Rupp's behind the plate. And that fastball's in there for a strike. A little tail on it at 92 to DJ LeMahieu. LeMahieu hitting .389 over his last 10 ball games, and he's got the average at .326. On base percentage just about .400, which is tremendous.
Not only tremendous is the on base percentage, the fact that DJ LeMahieu against left-handers, .327 batting average. Against right-handers, .325. It doesn't matter to this guy. He's going to sit on his backside. He's going to let the ball travel, and he's going to hit the ball where it's pitched.
And that's way inside. 2 balls and a strike. Jake Thompson's a big, sturdy guy, 6'4", listed at 230 pounds.
Baseball America ranked him prior to the season the 75th best prospect in all of baseball. And he was the Phillies' 3rd best prospect in their organization.
That's in there for a strike. Well, listen, teams have thought highly of him. He's a former 2nd-round pick. He's a Texas kid, and he was first traded by Detroit. He drafted him to Texas for Joakim Soria, and then part of the next deal. This ball's lined to deep left field, and it'll be tracked down out there by Altair. You know, you're 22 and you've been dealt twice, but if you look at the people that you were involved with from a trade perspective, you say, oh, I guess some teams like me.
Yes, they do. And I think when you look at, they were hoping that Jake Thompson will end up being one of the foundations of their rotation moving forward. This Phillies rotation, as young as it is, has a sub-4 ERA. Really underrated rotation, and they're hoping Jake Thompson's going to be a big part of that moving forward.
So here's Nolan at 287, 30 home runs. He's driven in 92, and he takes a strike. Phillies were off yesterday. It was a travel, a recovery from travel day. They played at Dodger Stadium Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They beat the Dodgers on Wednesday, 6-2. Two strikes on Nolan. And the big curveball, strike 3. Nolan just dropped the bat, takes off the equipment, and we'll get ready for his next AB. John Gray to the mound in Philadelphia when we come back. Off for Philadelphia in the bottom of the first inning. As we take a look at the Southwest batting order for Pete Maccannon's club. Odubel Herrera, who does a lot of leading off of his own, he'll bat second tonight. Then Aaron Altair, who missed 103 games coming off wrist surgery, he'll bat third. Maikel Franco, Ryan Howard, Cameron Rupp, Freddie Galvis, 8 for 17 against the Rockies this year. Peter Borges will bat eighth, and then Jake Thompson. John Gray looking for a bounce-back performance. He had the worst outing of his season in his last outing against Miami. 3 2/3, gave up 8 runs on 10 hits. And to give you an idea of how well John has been pitching and how much of that performance was an aberration, in his previous 7 starts, he'd given up 11 runs, and in one start he gave up 8. And he's quickly ahead 0-2. Fastball command was, as it generally is, a big part of the demise of John Gray in his last outing.
Oh, you see the pitch arsenal, the big fastball, 95 slider, wipeout slider. That pitch, the slider, will always focus on just because hitters are hitting 182 off of it. Obviously, he has the changeup that he's been working on and a curveball that he started throwing in spring training that now is part of his arsenal.
That had to be a long 5 days for John. 4 days between starts after getting run after 3 2/3. Well, he can make up for it tonight, and the 0-2 is fouled off. Another slider. Nick Hundley doing the catching tonight.
We always talk about quality starts, and what that is 6 innings pitched, less than 3 runs. And the Rockies' rookie record comes from John Thompson, and he had 15. John Gray already has 13.
Well, that was a good pitch, and a better take evidently by Hernandez. That usually induces a swing. 1-2. It goes back in there, and at 96, a defensive swing by Hernandez.
Something the Marlins did so well in the last start. We looked at that awful start that he had against the Marlins. They were fouling off his fastball multiple times, just getting deeper and deeper in the counts until John eventually laid a pitch where they could handle it.
Beat him on that fastball, also at 97, but Hernandez making John Gray work. This will be the 8th pitch coming up. Hernandez hitting .313 over his last 21 ball games. And he overamped that curveball. Phillies, like the Rockies, are an improved baseball team from a year ago.
And it all comes down to pitching. Phillies pitching is so much better this year than it was last year. Same with the Rockies.
Pete Mackanin earlier this year was signed to an extension to his contract. Guaranteed another couple of years. Guess all you're really guaranteed in this business is you'll get paid. Nick Hundley's going to give it the cursory look, but it's out of play. This is kind of like Charlie's at bat the other day in Texas, the start of the game, that went 11 pitches. Well, this will go 11 pitches.
You see the Subaru strike zone. It's a lot of pitches in that strike zone, and a lot of times when you see the foul balls, it's because the pitches are elevated. They're up in the zone. And even though that box is filled up with strikes, they're not quality strikes. You want to see them a little lower in the zone.
Like that.
Whoa!
That had Gary Cederstrom flinch, and he didn't call the strike. Borderline pitch, 3-2. Watch Cederstrom. This will be a 13 pitch at bat, and the savvy crowd here in Philadelphia appreciates it. Remember, they used to sell out every single game during the great run with Jimmy Rollins and Utley and Howard, Chooch, Carlos Ruiz behind the plate. Not selling out right now, but they got great fans. And this ball is belted to deep center field. And it's triple territory. It'll be an easy triple for Hernandez. Well, not that you want to see it happen, but you want to talk about great at-bats. That was one great at-bat by Cesar Hernandez.
That was a fantastic at-bat, and it forced John Gray to make sure he threw a strike right there. Hernandez knew it was coming. If it wasn't a strike, he'd probably foul it off. Missed location, up in the zone, just like several of the pitches before. That's what's allowing him to foul the pitches off. He gets one up, just like the Miami Marlins did. If they miss up to John Gray has been paying for it.
9th triple of the year for Hernandez, so he now leads the National League. Actually leads the major leagues in that department. One more than Jake Lamb, who quietly for Arizona has had a tremendous year. Odubel Herrera at the plate. And that fastball misses at 96. You know, John will have to be very special not to give up a run here now in the first inning with that opening triple. Herrera just 1 for 15 against the Rockies this year.
Well, more important for me is I'm fine with the run scoring. We'd like to see him be efficient with his fastball so you can keep that pitch count down. And the first inning has been John Gray's hardest. Just trying to get out of here without giving up runs. 16 earned runs in 20 starts coming in the first inning.
Beat him on that fastball. It's 1-2.
You know, Odubel Herrera leads this Phillies team with a .304 batting average against right-handed pitchers. This is the ideal batter for the Phillies to get the run in.
Yeah, and he also has been one of their better hitters with runners in scoring position. A problematic thing for them of late. .308. Pretty good job to get down to that breaking ball, and it remains 1-2. A ton of foul balls already. We've seen that quite a bit in his last couple of starts. I thought you made a great point, Spilly, that you'll see more of that when the ball is up in the zone.
Even though the velocity is 95, 96, if you're missing belt high, it's easier for the hitter to get the barrel to it, even if he's fouling it off. Certainly doesn't help if you throw a pitch in that location and you don't get the strike call.
Steve Foster looking on. 2-2 count. Nobody out. Hernandez at third. All-star Odubel Herrera at the plate. And a base hit. 1-0 Philadelphia. Triple and now a single.
Two quality at-bats lead off the game for the Philadelphia Phillies. Hernandez with the great at-bat to lead off the game, and Odubel Herrera getting a pitch pretty close to the location John Gray wants. Sometimes just putting the bat on the ball, good things will happen.
So this is Aaron Altair. The Phillies are very high on. Coming off wrist surgery, missed 103 games. We were talking about that a moment ago. They like how much pop he has. I know that. He's already hit 3 home runs. 55% of his hits, going back to last year at the big league level, have been extra base hits. That's how you show up and get to hit third. Runner going, and Nick can't get it out of his glove. A stolen base for Herrera. And all of a sudden, the Phillies, who were not a good running team the first 3 months of the season, since the All-Star break, they've been tremendous.
You see Nick Hundley trying to get the baseball out of the glove. But even if he was able to get it out, you can see the jump that Herrera had. Jon Gray's not the best at holding base runners on. High leg kick.
This is line to right, and it is foul. Since July 19, 25 games, the Phillies have stolen, if you include tonight, 27 bases, third most in baseball. And they've been caught, and here's maybe the most important element of this, they've been caught only 4 times. Now, compare that to the first 94 games. They swiped only 39 bases and were caught 28 times. They had the third worst stolen base percentage in the big leagues. What, did Ricky Henderson come visit? Looked like a cutter, not a slider. It's away. 2-2 on Altair. Still nobody out. Jon Gray's thrown 23 pitches. And he gets a strikeout on a slider there. 1 out, and that'll bring up Maikel Franco. Here's what the Rockies look like with the gloves. In the outfield, Dahl, Blackmon, and Parra. Infield, Arenado, Descalso, LeMahieu, and Ben Paulson. Welcome back, Ben. He's got a good glove at first. Nick Hundley's behind the plate. And if you missed it, Mark Reynolds broke his hamate bone. He's going to be out in the neighborhood of 4 to 6 weeks. An injury you suffered at one point in your career, Spilly.
Took about 4 to 6 weeks for the injury to really heal up, but I never felt comfortable swinging a bat for almost 8 months. Took a while. And the hamate bone is really, it's on the bottom of your palm. You have to cut through the fatty tissue of your palm to get to that bone.
And Franco fouls that pitch off.
So if you can see right here, this is the fatty mass where my bat would sit. And right in here is where I have the hamate bone. And your hamate bone hooks on, it's a little hook. And you can sever it, you can cut it, and you can fracture it by hitting a ball off the bat. You'll see it with golfers, you'll see it with tennis players. And it's just one of those surgeries, they pretty much remove the little hook on the bone and lay your tendons back down, and it's fine. But it takes a while because you're cutting through quite a bit of muscle mass on your palm.
Franco fouls this pitch off with Herrera running again. Two strikes on Maikel Franco. He's hitting under 200 since the All-Star break. 18 home runs in the first half, just 2 since the break, and a 190 batting average. And Jon Gray gets him with a hard curveball at 79. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Ryan Howard. Here's our Office Liquidators series storylines. The Rockies visit Philadelphia. The return of the Gray Wolf. Gray needs to rebound from 8 runs, as we discussed in his last start against Miami. David Dahl goes for 18 straight. He now has a share of the all-time Major League record to begin his career at 17. Not so sweet at home. The Phillies hitting just 220, which is the worst home average in baseball. It's surprising as they play in an offensive park here at the Bank. Ryan Howard, and his curveball, or the curveball from Gray, is fouled off. Ryan Howard is actually in a limited role, swung the bat well since the All-Star break. He's hitting .350 since the break, and he's thrown out some big hits. He had a pinch 3-run double in Los Angeles to give the Phillies a big cushion late on Wednesday in their victory at Dodger Stadium. Ground ball to the short fielder, Ryan Howard. I did that last time with
Ryan LeMahieu.
Ryan LeMahieu. DJ LeMahieu. A run in the first, a triple from Hernandez, a single by Herrera, 1-0 Philadelphia. Much, and David Dahl will step in to lead things off for the Rockies, down a run in the second inning. 4, 5, and 6 for Colorado against the rookie Jake Thompson. And the 22-year-old's running fastballs outside, ball 1. Dahl kept the streak alive in his first at bat in Texas yesterday. And let's take a look at our Mako big hit. It is David Dahl yesterday afternoon in the heat and humidity of Arlington, Texas. And a sharp single to right. 17-game hitting streak to begin his career.
Tied the Reds' Chuck Aliano in 1941. Crazy part about Aliano's career is that he never really hit after that.
Hit below 200 after that, and spent a lot of time playing in various minor league ballparks in Florida, and eventually settled there. Actually hit just 157 in 101 major league games after that 17-game stretch to begin. Here's the 2-2, and a swing and a miss, but you know what? He's going to reach. Strikeout, wild pitch, and David Dahl's aboard. One other note about Leno and his hitting streak to begin his career. He retired to Florida, where he spent so much time playing afterward, but he's from Rockland County and is in the Rockland County Sports Hall of Fame. And why are we showing Walt Weiss? Walt Weiss is from Suffern, New York, which is in Rockland County, just north of the city. So they're both Rockland County guys. Chuck set his mark with the Cincinnati Reds in 1941. See if the Rockies can take advantage with speed at first, down a run. Here's Gerardo Parra. Parra takes ball 1. Parra 4 for 22 since coming off the disabled list. With Gerardo, you know that he is up there to swing the bat. He has just 4 walks this year, which is hard to do in 265 at bats.
And one of the stats I heard was none of those 4 walks came after he had a strike on. So they were all 4-pitch walks.
No, he doesn't have a strike on him yet. 2-0.
And you're going to need Gerardo in the bottom of the lineup to pick up where you're missing a Carlos Gonzalez, where you're missing the Trevor Story. Parra hitless in Texas, 0 for 9.
And it's 3-0. Thompson only walked 2 in that first outing against San Diego. He's already doing better than that outing. He gave up 4 in the first inning of his major league debut. Taken the whole way, Parra gets a strike, 3-1.
Trophy take? You want to see a trophy take?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Might as well go for a hit and run.
And there's a base hit to right. David Dahl is going to go first to third. Here's the throw in that direction, cut off by the shortstop Galvis. First and third, nobody out, and that'll bring up Nick Hundley. That speed pays off, doesn't it?
It really does, and you're running right in front of the right fielder's face when you do this. Ball hit off the end of the bat for Parra, but pulls it through that 4-hole. And Burgess with a pretty good strong throw. Galvis might have had a play on Parra, who was making a hard turn at first, and coughed up the baseball.
A love fest at first, and Hundley will step in. Top of the second, 1-0 Philadelphia. John Gray and 22-year-old Jake Thompson, and the breaking ball's handled by Cameron Rupp. Hundley looking for his 30th RBI. Nick with 1 sac fly this year. And 2-0.
Well, Nixon a nice hitter's count. 2-0. You can hunt fastball and look for a pitch up in the zone. And for Nick Hundley, it has been quite a struggle at the plate of late. 1 for his last 20.
He fouled off the fastball, which was up and in.
You see him take an extra hack right after. That was a frustration swing.
Heated play yesterday afternoon. A 4-hour and 3-minute affair. Tony Walters, actually, Nick came in late defensively. Tony went to shortstop. That was after Cargo pinch hit for Adames. But Tony was behind the plate for about 3 hours and 45 minutes.
Probably lost about 10 pounds.
I would think. And Tony doesn't need to lose any weight, but it's hard to stay hydrated in that kind of heat. Tell you what, the humidity today was brutal.
It was hot and humid. Sweating on the field just during batting practice, and I wasn't doing anything. Not that I ever do.
And this a low throw, safe at first base. Ryan Howard looked to the plate for a moment, then spun and tossed it low to Thompson. By the time he picked it up, Nick Hundley had beaten the throw. The Rockies tied up, first and second, still nobody out.
2-1 pitch. Nick Hundley gets tied up inside. Good movement on the fastball by Thompson. We see the indecision by Ryan Howard. And then the Hail Mary to first base. Interesting to see how they scored. I would assume everything is kind of clean, that it's an error.
Yeah, it's an error on Howard, an RBI for Hundley. It's his 30th. And now Ben Paulson will hit. So a return to the big leagues for Ben. He was optioned on May 13th, so he had about 6 weeks in the big leagues this year before going down to Albuquerque. At 276 with the Isotopes. His last actual game with the Rockies was May the 11th. Hit 6 home runs in Albuquerque. Remember at the time Walt sent him down. He said it's nothing that Ben Paulson did. He saw the numbers, they were solid enough. Just got caught up in a
numbers game.
In a numbers game where the Rockies had to make a roster move, and he was a casualty. And he was also a casualty of the fact that Mark Reynolds had gotten off to such a good start that the Rockies felt like they could play Mark on an everyday basis.
I think it's interesting. For me, with Ben Paulson, he's patiently waited. He's behind Morneau. Obviously, this last offseason, the Rockies don't sign Morneau back. And you're looking at him and you're wondering, is this going to be the first baseman for this season? And the way it worked out was no. But now with Mark Reynolds getting the hamate surgery and no real first baseman that the Rockies have on their roster, that Paulson may get the opportunity the next 2 months to really get a significant amount of playing time to show whether he's truly an everyday first baseman.
And did he go? Yep. 2-1. Parr at second, Nick Hundley at first, nobody out. Outfield is straight up, average depth for Paulson. And the former Clemson standout fouls that off. 2-2. Folks, when the Rockies score 7 runs or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special. Live Moss at Taco Bell. Just checked on Morneau. There's a swing and a miss, and Paulson goes down 1 out. Morneau, since returning this year at the White Sox, is hitting .289 with 3 home runs, driven in 9. 76 at bat, so he's still showing he's got something left in the tank. Descalso out of the 8-hole playing shortstop this afternoon. Way inside.
So far, watching Thompson, it's a little cut to his fastball. He can sink it a little bit. Has a good curveball. That was the pitch that he was missing against the San Diego Padres in his major league debut. Froze Nolan with it earlier today. David Dahl swung through one.
A lot of 2-0 counts, man. You got to take advantage, especially a young pitcher Big at bat here for Descalso with John Gray on deck. Rockies have tied it up. Two and one. Gary Cedarstrom calling balls and strikes. Eric Cooper at first, Adrian Johnson at second, Chad Whitson is at third. That looks like a brand new mask, doesn't it?
I like the flat black.
3-1.
I do like how all the umpires now wear the black umpire uniform. Throughout high school and college, we used to call the umpires the blue. What's up, blue? You cannot call a major league umpire blue. They will yell at you. You have to know their first name.
And there's no reason not to, because in every dugout now, or in the walkway, the tunnel leading up to the dugout, virtually every major league team will list the 4 umpires by position that day, complete, as the Rockies do at least, with a biography on that umpire. So, I mean, you could pretend you watched it and say, hey, Gary, man, I really enjoyed your work last year in the divisional series, as you tap him on the back and get settled in the box, right?
You have to earn points, Drew. If you can get any borderline pitch, 1-1 count.
Look at Descalso right there. He's saying, Gary, you know, how's the wife and kids? And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Family okay?
Yeah, see, that's the basic look, but I guarantee in the clubhouse or somewhere, the umpire in a more detailed fashion are listed. And I know the Rockies do that. They do a great job of it, of putting the entire biographical sketch on each umpire in their dugout. That's how they handle it on the road.
Parra was dancing on a 3-2 count, looking like he was going to move. And with Descalso's been fantastic with runners in scoring position. 40 at bats this season, a .450 batting average.
Well, this is his 34th start this year. He's hit .302 as a starter this season.
Should anticipate the runners moving.
Not going, and that's a called strike 3. And now Daniel not pleased with Cedarstrom. He thought it was high.
Based on the Subaru strike zone, I think Daniel has an argument. Good curveball up in the zone. There's a lot of bite to this pitch.
That's high.
That's up.
You know, even where he received it, Cameron Rupp, when you catch it, unless it's Stanton at the plate, when you catch a ball mask high, especially a breaking ball, even a heater mask high is typically not called a strike.
You don't see a lot of high strikes called in the major leagues.
0-1 on the slider. So the Rockies, with runners at first and second, fail to put a ball in play. And now you're going to ask John Gray to come through.
And Thompson might have a shot at striking out 4 batters this inning.
John Gray, 1 career RBI. Good swing. 1-2.
I'm gonna guess just because I feel like I remembered it, but I think the last guy to have 4 strikeouts in 8, I'm just guessing, but I remember seeing Oliver Perez do it.
Well, you just witnessed it again. 4 strikeouts in an inning in which the Rockies scored a run because the first guy who struck out was David Dahl. He reached and scored.
says Nationals game on August the 17th will receive a coupon for an Eber National $1 hot dog. And it'll look just like that. I don't think you're allowed to put ketchup on it.
That's a faux pas. Almost as egregious as Frazier putting mayonnaise on his hot dogs.
Well, Jake Thompson can put anything on his hot dog after striking out 4 last inning.
73rd time it's happened in the history of the big leagues. So he's in the record books. It's happened 3 times now this year.
Tyler Duffy and Julio Teheran. Those are the 2 guys this season. And I was right when I said I remembered Oliver Perez striking out 4. I just didn't remember that it was against the Rockies. September 20th, 2014, he did that against our near and dear friends, the Rockies.
Strike on Cameron Rupp. And this is slowly hit. This is a tough play with, even with Rupp running, he has an infield hit. Power hitting, right-handed bat, and Nolan was very deep, and even though Rupp doesn't run well, he had no chance at him. So it's an infield hit as we go to Denver and check in with Mark Stout. Mark?
Keith is a buddy of mine. Do some baseball cans with Keith.
Do you?
Yeah. He actually sells coffee too. His family, yeah, family sells coffee.
Well, he was the best hitter on his 12-year-old team.
Yeah, 1997. Everybody, you should be one of the better hitters. I think everybody on that team probably got the best hitter trophy, along with the orange slice and a fruit box.
And a ribbon for participation. Ball and a strike on switch hitting shortstop Freddie Galvis. Galvis 8 for 17 against Colorado pitching this year. Rupp a conservative lead at first. And that's foul. Phillies are going to have a battle next spring training for their 2 middle infield spots. You have Freddie Galvis, who's a really good glove. He's hitting .231. Cesar Hernandez has been playing second base every day. He's batting .285. He's been solid with the stick. Because J.P. Crawford, their top prospect, is set to arrive, and he is a shortstop. Just heard on the public address that it's only the 2nd time a Philadelphia pitcher's ever struck out 4 in a game. The other guy was Doc White back in 1902. I think that was before Jake Thompson was born. Here's the 1-2, and that's fouled off.
Speaking of being born, the Phillies now have the youngest roster in baseball. And looking through the roster, there's some guys that were born in 1992, 93. Zach Eflin, who just went on the disabled list, 1994. There's some young guys. As soon as the Phillies find out Carlos Ruiz and Ryan Howard were both born in 1979, those numbers will drop significantly.
Well, the guy you're watching tonight, Jake Thompson, was born in 94.
Amazing.
2-2 on Freddie Galvis.
I'm guessing whatever humor that Ryan Howard drops, like, hey, you remember watching E.T.? It falls on blank stares.
DJ will turn and had to hesitate for a moment. He still got the force. He had trouble with his balance, getting the ball out of his glove, but DJ stayed with it and got the out at second. He knew who was running. It was Rupp, the catcher.
DJ's so good ranging to his left. Made sure he gets the grip. And the most important part is that Daniel Descalso reaching out like a first baseman and making sure he keeps his foot on the bag. And Subaru Supermo, you can see the ball beats Cameron Rupp to second base. The new neighborhood play, it's forcing the infielders to stay on the bag. A couple years ago, you would see the infielder just stand close and make sure he jumped out of the way.
Well, I've been saying this all year. I imagine, and maybe it's hope as well, that they revisit that rule in the offseason and amend it for the safety of middle infielders. Peter Borges with one out. He's won for his last 17. At some point you want to see some quick innings for John Gray. First batter of the game that he faced, Cesar Hernandez, a 13 pitch at bat, and Hernandez hit a triple. His next pitch is 40th with one out in the second. Sure, for the Phils, it's good to be home. They've spent 16 of their last 20 days on the road. After the series here in Philadelphia, the Rockies return home. They'll see Washington and Chicago. That's lined to the gap in right center field, and Carl cut it off, but Borges can really run. He's into second with a double. Then it kicks away, and that will allow Freddie Galvis to score the go-ahead run. It's 2-1. Little short hop that Descalso didn't handle. 2-1 Phils.
Another pitch missed up in location. That is pretty much center cut. And Part does a good job getting to the baseball. The bad part is with the arm strength that Gerardo has, he tries to throw it all the way in the air to get Borges, where a lot of times you'll see an outfielder try to one-hop, try to hit the edge of the grass because it's an easier play for the infielders to be able to grab it.
And they do give him the error. Descalso reaches up, makes a nice play with the infield in to get the pitcher Jake Thompson for the second out. Now the infield can back up.
We get Gerardo has one of the better arms in right field, but what makes it difficult for the infielder is if you short hop him. You see Gerardo's trying to throw that all the way in the air. You can skip the baseball off the edge of the dirt and it will skip. And oftentimes you'll see outfielders working on it during batting practice, and it's a much easier play for the infielder.
Hernandez had that tremendous at bat last inning. Sees one skip up there at 95. Change up. Good pitch.
Fernandez leads all of baseball with infield bunt hits, and he's second in baseball with infield hits. You always look at these situations, and I'm always worried that they are going to go for a drag bunt or a push bunt where you might pull the baseball towards first base and see if he can get in a foot race with John Gray and Ben Paulson.
See the pitch chart on his last at bat. And you hope you get through an inning with that number of pitches. And this kicks away. And another run will score. A wild pitch. And the Rockies are down 3-1. So they've been sloppy here in the second, and it's cost them.
You're looking to bury your secondary pitches in the dirt. And it looks like it takes a strange bounce right off the front of the plate. I know for pitchers, you want to have confidence in your backstop, knowing that, hey, even if I throw my hard off-speed pitch into the dirt, that he's going to be a wall back there. You don't want to see them the secondary pitches being left up in the plate.
That's a good-looking pitch, evidently just off the plate. 3-2. Been work so far for John Gray. There's a 3-2 changeup. Rockies came into this ball game with a road ERA at 3.71. That was after giving up 9 yesterday. Still the 4th best in the National League, 6th best road ERA in all of baseball. Rockies entered the game yesterday with the 3rd best road ERA in the National League. And Hernandez walks. That'll bring up Odubel Herrera.
The Rockies also end up having the 2nd best drop in road ERA versus last year. 4.37 last year, 3.71 like you just mentioned. 2nd only to the Toronto Blue Jays.
Herrera's sharp single to left to drive in Hernandez last inning. Odubel with that big leg kick. 0-1. Odubel Herrera got a free ride to the All-Star game from Denver. When Trevor Story lost the final 5 vote, Fargo was going to take him along naturally with Nolan Arenado and other members of Cargo's family on a private plane. And he offered that seat to Odubel Herrera, who is from Venezuela, but Cargo doesn't know him that well. But that was a very nice gesture. Runner going, and the throw is not going to get him. Stolen base for Hernandez. 2nd stolen base of the ball game for Philadelphia, who all of a sudden is very aggressive on the base paths, and that's the 12th for Hernandez.
Stolen bases are made off the pitcher, not off the catcher. And even with the high leg kick of John Gray trying to hold it, the timing, trying to keep the timing off, there's not a lot Nick Hundley can do behind the plate.
Here's the 1-1. And Herrera fires at it. It's 1-2. Waves at a high fastball. In the inning, 2 runs on a couple of hits. There was an error. There was a wild pitch that was costly. 3-1 Philadelphia. He had a good coach.
Great coach. You have any trophies?
I do.
No broadcasting trophies?
Yes.
Yeah, but one that you are really proud of. Do you have one that you're extremely proud of? Emmys? Broadcaster of the Year awards? Yeah, I know you have those, but there has to be one that stands out.
So you know what? Anytime you get acknowledged, right? It's a pretty cool thing. So, yeah.
I know, but I'm asking
you,
does one stand out? Is there one that you're really proud of?
I've honestly never thought about that. Here's Blackmon. This ball's crushed deep right center, way back, and Charlie has done it again off the facade of the second deck. 16th of the year for Chuck Nasty.
Man, that ball was hit hard. Chuck Nasty did not miss it. Second deck from a leadoff batter. There's only a few people that go that far in Philadelphia.
He hit one 455 to dead center in Arlington the other day.
It looks like a changeup or something just mixing right out over the middle of the plate, and Charlie knew it.
He has been on a tear. Leads the big leagues in hits in the month of August with 20. One more than that diminutive machine down in Houston, Altuve, with 19. Chuck getting nasty with the baseball.
That ball was blistered.
Here's the 1-0 to LeMahieu, outside corner for a strike. DJ lined to fairly deep left his first time up. 3-2 ball game.
You're going to laugh at me, but Corey Sullivan hit a ball.
Oh, really? That's never happened before.
Corey Sullivan hit a ball off. It used to be a Dodge Charger sign, and now it's the AT&T sign that Charlie hit it over. But when Corey hit that, I remember the guys on the bench, we all just dropped our head because it's great that he hit the home run, but not to hit it that far.
Because you knew you were going to hear about it for like 2 or 3 years.
For 2 or 3 years, it's been like 15 years since, and I hear about it almost every day. That's a long ways up.
This ball on the ground toward the hole, cut off by Franco, and he'll throw out DJ. I'm going to count to 10, and I'm assuming we'll have a text from Sully before I get to 10.
It was before you even counted, I had a text. That's a long ways, Chuck.
Those two guys that he's talking to are very familiar with hitting balls into the second or third deck. Nolan takes a strike. He struck out his first time. 3 pitches. Caught looking at a curveball. And a pop up to shallow right. Borges makes the catch, 2 outs as we go downstairs and visit with Jenny Cavnar. Jenny?
Yeah, Drew, David Dahl got on base in the second. He's looking for a hit, though, to keep that hit streak going. It's at 17, tied for the most in Major League Baseball, but of course, a franchise record to begin his career. He passed Juan Pierre, and Juan tweeting out congrats to David Dahl for his hitting streak. Keep it going. I still get chills when I see the Rockies uniform where it all started, of course, for Juan Pierre. So great tweet from him. And we also want to know on a Fan Friday what fans are thinking of David Dahl. We saw Trevor Story and his historic start. Now David Dahl. Rookies are ruling, guys.
The Rockies have a number of tremendous rookies because sometimes you forget John Gray has rookie status this year. Tyler Anderson, Trevor Story, David Dahl. It's been a banner year for a crop of outstanding, impactful young guys that are going to be here, it looks like, for a long time. 1-1 on David Dahl. And what a classy move by one of the classiest guys I've ever covered in baseball, Juan Pierre, one of my all-time favorites.
That guy was a legend before I even showed up in a Rockies uniform to spring training. They said if anybody even comes close to working half as hard as Juan Pierre, you're going to make the major leagues.
the hardest worker. Probably think it's fair to say, if you ask guys who played with him, Todd Helton comes to the top of the list, and he'll tell you the hardest worker he's ever been around. Period. End of subject.
It's not even close. It wasn't even close.
And Dahl, foul tip, and it's held. He strikes out for a second time. Rockies get a run back on the monstrosity of a home run from Charlie Blackmon. 3-2, middle of 3.
Ouch.
A few ticket stubs, I think, over the years. So you were talking about trophies. Do you have a trophy that sits prominently somewhere in your collection?
No, but ticket stubs, I have several that I kept from 2007. It was when my mom, every time she went to the game, she kept the ticket stubs. So I found, obviously my mom passed away in 2009, but she had a little box of mementos. This ball's hit.
Fortunately, it was hit higher than it was far.
Yeah, good thing. And in that box of mementos, obviously I never knew about it until after she passed away, but I looked through it, and she has all these games that she went to and with little notes on it. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, it's in my. It's not quite.
My son hit a double in the second inning.
Yeah, something like that.
My son made a nice throw in the fourth inning.
Great play here. My son cheered on his teammates for,
my
the,
son
entire,
is the
for the
best.
entire game over here.
My son is a sweetheart.
Yep.
Those are nice mementos. Franco swings and misses at a changeup. It's 0-1.
I did think off the bat that ball is hit a lot farther.
He's a strong kid. You can just tell bat speed wise. That was all tier.
When you look at 45 major league hits, 25 of those are for extra base hits.
And you look at his minor league numbers, Altairs, and nothing really jumps out at you. That's why you can't focus. And I know a lot of the fans, they do a great job. A lot of our great Rockies fans, they keep track of what's going on in Hartford or Albuquerque and Modesto and the short season teams, Asheville. And it does give you a feel for certainly guys who are performing well, but it's not necessarily a be-all, end-all. Raw numbers. And the guy we always trot out when we talk about you just can't pay attention to numbers and think it's going to be a direct correlation to how they're going to do in the big leagues is Matt Holliday never produced more than 16 home runs at any minor league stop, and we know what he's done the last decade plus in the big leagues. We wish Matt well right now. He broke his thumb yesterday, got hit by a pitch. And a good slider to strike out Franco. 2 outs. That is the 4th strikeout for Big John.
And the 2nd time he struck out Franco with the same pitch. Now he's starting to get the good bite, good depth. You see the location, it's down. It's a much easier pitch for the hitters to swing through when it's in that area. Anything up in the zone, and we've seen several pitches tonight up in the zone, batters are going to have the ability to put the ball in play. Down there, you have no chance.
Howard grounded one to the rover. DJ LeMahieu his first time up. Strikeouts by Rockies rookie pitchers all time. John Gray just tied former Baylor Bear Jason Jennings. And an off-speed pitch. Jolie Chassin, who had a rough outing for the Angels yesterday, has the all-time record, 138 strikeouts. So clearly John Gray by the end of the season is going to own that record by himself. 1-1 and another ground ball to the rover. On DJ LeMahieu's baseball card next year, it will say second base / R.
Gold Glove rover.
Gold Glove rover. Gold Glove second baseman too. 3-2. They trail 3-2. John Gray gave up a run in the first and some sloppy play defensively, including a wild pitch by John. Gave the Phillies 2 in the second. The Rockies have another home run from Charlie Blackmon. He went off the facade of the second deck. His 16th of the year, and the Rockies are coming to bat in the 4th inning, and they will have 5, 6, and 7 tonight. That's Gerardo Parra, Nick Hundley, and Ben Paulson. Carlos Gonzalez ran around in the outfield, took BP again today. Not in the starting lineup. Clearly available to pinch hit. You saw what he did yesterday, a 3-run double. That's the difference in the ball game as the Rockies beat the Rangers 12-9. With Ryan Spilborghs and Jenny Kavnar, I'm Drew Goodman. Parra singled through the 3.5 hole his first time up on a 3-1 pitch from Jake Thompson. And the former 2nd-round pick of the Tigers misses there. This ball is rifled to right, but it's grabbed by Peter Borges. Hit it too hard.
Yeah, nothing feels worse than walking back to the dugout. You hear usually the visiting dugout or the opponents yell, "Nice swing, you're out." Nothing worse.
How much trash is talked at the major league level?
Quite a bit.
Is there? Of all the levels you played at, high school, college. Summer travel ball. College #1?
No, it wasn't even close. I remember my first year in short season pro ball.
Nick Hundley hits this one in the air to right center.
I brought the old college ragging to short season A-ball, and Ron Gideon was the short season manager, and Ron Gideon now works with the AA Yard Goats as a field coordinator. And I'm yelling, talking trash to the pitcher. Yeah, serve it up, meat. We'll leave it up there. We'll drive it in the gap. You know, we love shopping in the whatever trash we were talking. And Ron goes, you know, you're a professional.
The first of many times that you got your hand slapped.
Oh, yeah.
Paulson at the plate takes ball one. Ben struck out in his first big league at bat since early May. So college, you felt, had the most trash talking of any level you played at.
Yeah, I mean, because we were talking trash about silly things. In the major leagues, the trash you're talking is get in the box, taking too long, stop crying about, you know, not wanting a pitch.
This is filleted to third. Franco throws across. So 1-2-3 fourth inning for Jake Thompson. Phillies lead 3-2. Back to Citizens Bank after this with the trash talker. $50% off your online order at Papa John's. Today would qualify. Use promo code ROXWIN at papajohns.com. Phillies with a record of 53-63. The Rockies 56-59. John Gray in the fourth inning will face Cameron Rupp, Freddie Galvis, Peter Borges coming off his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Rupp reached on an infield hit. I don't know how many infield hits Cameron collects. 260-pound catcher for the Philadelphia Phillies and former outstanding high school linebacker, recruited to play football at the University of Texas. Oh, 0-2.
See that slider down and away.
Boy, that was nasty. Quick strikeout of Cameron Rupp as we go to Denver and visit again with Mark Stout. Mark, what's cooking? You know what? You really ought to. And I know a lot of times I always give my kids a hard time about this. It just pictures. Kids they want to sit still for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So you can take a family picture somewhere. And when you have that and it stops time, and then you look back on, especially when you're our age, you look back and you say, man, I remember that. That was really cool. That's when we were, at such and such place. The same thing with that baseball for a young man who had a big day in the state tournament. Here's the 1-2, and that's fouled off. I'm reminded of that great Vin Scully line, one of a million he has uttered. It's a mere moment in time between an all-star game and an old-timers game. For most of us, those all-star games and old-timer games don't come at the big league level. So hold on to those baseballs, hold on to those trophies. 1-2 fouled off by Galvis. I love how you remember many of the teams you played on, and you say this with not only humility, but as you've told this story many times, you say it with accuracy, I guess. And I wasn't there, but you said you played on about 40 teams in your career, from high school summer ball teams, the Foresters, which is a great Southern California
Mexican League team.
Yeah, I mean, Japan, the big leagues, obviously, and many places in between. And what do you always say?
I said I was probably the best player on the team 10 times. I was probably the worst player on the team 10 times. And I was somewhere in the middle the other 20.
And I used to give you a hard time. I said, come on, Spill, there's no way, you played in the big leagues for a long time. It's like, there's no way you were ever the worst guy on your team.
And I tell you wholeheartedly, yeah, I have been the worst guy. And there's been times where I remember in college, somebody would get it. If I got a hit off the college pitcher my freshman year, that pitcher had to run laps. And it was like, go run laps. You gave up a hit to Spilly. That's how bad I was. I was awful. And you just continue to get better. And it's not, I don't know, whenever I was the worst, I just wanted to be better. And then when you're in the middle, you want to be the best. So there's a life lesson in there. I don't know where it is. Maybe it'll be a fortune cookie somewhere. But
that's somewhat similar to the rule we have at Root Sports, that if you run one of your jokes and one of our crew members actually laughs, they have to run a lap. Right?
Yeah, they were like, you got to go.
Yeah, you got to go. Come on. I mean, how about Allison, our Philadelphia native who's producing this weekend, saying that she would be so tired from laughing at all your jokes. That was a great kiss up, Allison.
That was great.
Yeah.
I did notice, because Allison's from Philadelphia, you just said that. But I noticed a little bit of the Philadelphia starting to come back in her.
Look at that. He took care of Skippy. Spilly take care of Skippy. Freddie Galvis draws a 1-out walk.
Immediately after John Gray threw that pitch, he looked at his palm. Goes to the rosin bag. I think the humidity and the heat. See him, he's wiping his hand.
That's what I'm blaming my round of golf on today.
Your round of hockey?
My round of hockey. That's what I called it after. You like that one?
I love that. You played hockey.
Peter Borges with 1 out.
All you need to do,
sitting in the 8th spot.
All you had to do today was pull the sweater over the caddy and just beat him.
Right, exactly. That would have been more appropriate. Would have had a better chance there. Borges double to right center field his first time up, and that pitch misses. 2-0. Boy, John's thrown a lot of pitches. Next pitch will be number 80 with 1 out in the 4th inning.
And this is Peter Borges' first game back since going on the disabled list with the right shoulder sprain.
Well, that's not good. 3-0.
see Walt in the background.
Sometimes I wonder, I don't know how managers do it, because there's so little you can do a good portion of the time. You watch like everybody else. Runner going, and on a 3-0 pitch, that's ball 4. And now with 1 out, you have the pitcher coming up and 2 men aboard. Back-to-back walks. 3 issued now by Gray. Jake Thompson hit a ground ball to short in the 2nd inning with the infield in. He's going to be bunting here. And that misses.
He's not missing by much. Notice how John Gray is consistently trying to wipe his hand, wipe the sweat off his hand, trying to get some rosin, trying to get the tack back to his finger so he can control the baseball. And your pants and your jersey, as the game progresses, even though it's, you would assume it's a little bit more dry, your jersey can get soaking wet.
I've seen pitchers change their jersey in the middle of a game. That's popped up and out of play. Trying to get a feel for how hard big league pitchers throw. He squared around a bunt, so the bat is stagnant. That fastball in the mid-90s, when fouled off, went deep into the first level. See if he can get the strikeout. The Rockies are going to be a little thinner in their bullpen tonight. Chris Russ, their long haul guy, is not available. He worked in that capacity yesterday. Boone Logan's probably down another day. Two and two. Well, maybe not. I mean, Chris is stretching. I don't know if that's a routine he does a day after, or if that's indicative of getting himself ready for a potential spot on the mound.
Well, with the move today, the Rockies activated Caris City and sent Gonzalez-Germain down for designating him for assignment, and Gonzalez had close to the most amount of innings pitched for the Rockies staff, oftentimes asked to eat multiple innings. I doubt Walt would try to use Caris City as a multiple innings pitcher just because he was a closer all through Double-A, and
yeah, that's not what he's looking for.
You're looking at Jordan Lyles, who threw 2 days ago, faced 1 batter.
Two, and see if the Rockies can turn this. There's one on first, double play. 6-4-3, and the Rockies work out of it despite the 2 walks by John Gray. We go to the 5th, 3-2 Philadelphia.
on today a very special ceremony as Jim Thome went into the Wall of Fame here at Citizens Bank Park. Surrounded former teammates. Time now for our T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball. Of course, Thome played 22 years in the big leagues, 4 seasons with Philadelphia, 2 separate stints, 2003 to 2005, and then again in 2012. He had a 260 average here with the Phillies, 101 home runs, of course, over 600 home runs in his career. And I got the chance to talk with his former teammate in Mark Reynolds. They played together with Baltimore in 2012. And Mark was just saying, what a teddy bear of a guy. It was so cool to play with a veteran that had that kind of presence and wasn't afraid to talk to rookies and wasn't afraid to share his knowledge. And Mark said he really learned from that experience, and he's tried kind of to emulate his career a little bit like that in terms of who he is as a clubhouse guy. So I thought that was really special to hear that Jim Thome was that way inside the clubhouse guys.
You never heard anything but
He's
not
the best.
just good things, but great things about Jim Thome. And the few times I was around him, so gracious with his time, and he just knew how to be a pro. Here's Daniel Descalso, 8-9-1 for the Rockies, down a run at the top of the 5th, and Daniel was struck out looking at what he thought was a pitch out of the strike zone on a 3-2 delivery. Looks at ball 1 here. And that's off the plate. A lot of 2-0 counts from Thompson tonight, but the Rockies have just 2 runs. Last run came on a home run by Charlie Blackmon. Charlie's got 3 home runs in his last 4 ball games. Three and 2. Looks like Chuck's going to reach that pretty number of 20 this year. Might blow right through 20. And a nice at bat, Descalso with a walk, and John Gray will try to move him along as he comes up now. Despite a number of deep counts, that's the first walk allowed by Thompson. Oh, did a great job getting that down. Good thing he bunted it. It was going to hit him. So John with a sac bunt and the tying run, and Descalso at second.
August 15th is Purple Monday. Download the MLB.com ballpark app and become eligible to win autograph items, plus the first 5,000 fans will receive a Purple Monday Rocks socks.
So here's that man we were speaking of, Charlie Blackmon. His career high in home runs is 19, set a couple of years ago. Hit his 16th in the 3rd inning. Not a lot of doubt on this one.
Not at all. 109 miles an hour off the bat, traveled 439 feet.
Charlie spent some time on the disabled list this year, and he's got 16 home runs, on pace to be in the low 20s, which would be a new career high. He's about 20, a little more than 20 points better than his career high in on-base percentage. He's getting better and better. 1-0. 2-0. He's got a 7-game hitting streak also. And during the last 7, he's hitting .548 with 4 bombs. .3-0.
The growth for Charlie is very similar to the growth for DJ. These guys are just learning what their strengths are. Charlie's a pull hitter. He pulls the baseball. DJ's a guy that lets the ball travel. And they haven't changed that. They haven't tried to define the mold that, hey, leadoff hitter, try to hit the ball opposite field. It's going to be ball 4 for Charlie Blackmon. And
that's interesting. Usually guys are trying to sell the umpire on it being ball 4. Charlie stood around thinking that 3-0 pitch was in the strike zone, and then Gary Cederstrom didn't say anything. He looked back, said, "Is that a ball?" He goes, "Yeah." So off he goes to first.
Cederstrom is showing the rookies tonight on both sides.
See, Charlie thought that pitch, which could have been called a strike.
Majority of time, 3-0 is an automatic strike if it's anywhere near the strike zone. Automatic take.
See, Charlie thinks that's a strike. Oh, okay.
Are you sure?
I'll go to first. No problem.
Okay, Gary.
Sorry.
Say hi to your wife.
Can't say that.
We were talking about that earlier.
Oh, I know. Just giving you a hard time. DJ a line out and a ground out. Both to the left side. 2 straight at bats. He pulled the baseball. That's unusual. Next pitch for Jake Thompson, 75. He's a young kid. He doesn't figure to go deep pitch count wise. Good block by Rupp. Phillies have the benefit of the off day yesterday, so a lot of arms available in their bullpen.
The first pitch strike to DJ was a rare occurrence for Thompson tonight. 7 of 19 first pitch strikes.
And it feels that way. It feels like he's been behind the whole night. Now you got to make him pay. Two balls and a strike on LeMahieu. Third leading hitter in the National League. 3-1. Nolan's on deck, 2 on, 1 out. Rockies have won 13 of the last 21 against the Phils. They swept the Phillies at Citizens Bank last year. If they were to win today, they would obviously have now won 4 straight against Philadelphia at Citizens Bank. They've never done that before. In fact, they never played well here except the last 10 years, except in the postseason when you all came in here, won 2 ball games in 07.
Tough place to play.
2 of my favorite Rockies games ever.
Kaz Matsui's home run.
Kaz Matsui's blast into the seats in right. 3-2. Runners were moving. They'll have to come back.
And
Todd Helton's first postseason at bat. And he triples to the State Farm sign out there in extreme right center field. Out in that little nook.
Was the other one Jason Giambi's 3 home run game?
Well, I was talking about the postseason games, but you're right. The Big G hit 3 bombs here. And he had never done it before. Over 400 home runs in his career at that point in time. Had never had a 3-homer game. And it came at the twilight of his career. Ball 4. Now the bases are juiced for Nolan Arenado. Rockies down a run, trying to change all of that here in the top of the 5th. The Coors Light Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. Players to lead a league in home runs and ribbies in consecutive years. Nolan's got a chance. He leads in both of those categories this year after hitting 42 and driving in 130 last year. The last guy to do it in the National League, Michael Jack Schmidt, on the broadcast on the Philly TV side this weekend. And the last guy to do it, period, in baseball was Prince's dad, Cecil Fielder, in 90 and 91. We were talking 2 days ago quite a bit about Prince Fielder and a little bit about Cecil. They both finished with 319 career home runs. Unfortunately, Prince's career is going to come to a close because of those neck issues. And there's Mike. Looks like he's in good shape still. Got more gray hair, don't we all? A Hall of Famer.
One of the greatest third basemen of all time.
One of the greatest defensive third basemen, and certainly one of the greatest power hitters of all time. Bob McClure's done with his conversation. Bases loaded, 1 out. And here's Nolan with a chance to do some significant damage. 3 career slams, if you're thinking about that. 3 walks in the inning. And Nolan gets off a quality swing. It's 0-1. Strikeout and a pop fly to shallow right so far in the ball game for Arenado. 30 home runs, 92 driven in for Nolan.
And he's driven in 8 with the bases loaded this year. 3 for 11. No home runs, but a big double.
Those are the swings that have to drive a hitter batty. Talking to Nolan a couple of days ago about this in Arlington. I said, what got you out of your funk? And he said, just a commitment to getting my A swing off. That obviously was not his A swing, B swing, or C swing.
No, that was a failure swing. And to Thompson's credit, there hasn't been a lot of well-hit baseballs by the Rockies tonight. A lot of movement, has the sinker, has a little cutter. Good secondary pitch with that curveball. Has it tonight, did not have it against the San Diego Padres.
This ball driven to right field. This is going to get a run home. Borges, a terrific outfielder, got over there. And that'll tie up the baseball game as Descalso scores. So behind in the count, Nolan still produces a sac fly to tie things at 3. 93 ribbies now for Arenado. The other neat thing about that is everybody was able to move up. So now LeMahieu's at second, Blackmon at third.
Nolan's happy about the RBI, but he's not happy about the at-bat. Anytime you feel like you're trying to commit to getting that A swing off, and during that at bat, we did not see 1 A swing.
Here's Dahl. That's a pitch, and you start to get a book, a feel on a guy. Well, the pitch where there seems to be a little bit of a hole, and he's not alone, especially lefties versus right-handers, is down and in, because we've seen him hit balls down and in really hard. And so you think he can get to everything, and when it's spinning, oftentimes you come up empty. That's what he struck out on in the third. Here's the 0-1. They go down there again. 0-2.
The arm speed and just the way Thompson's selling that pitch to David Dahl, it's so enticing. He just cannot lay off of it. If he doesn't throw that pitch 5 more times.
This is 22 versus 22 right now. in age. They should be juniors or seniors in college competing against each other.
Such a battle in your brain. You know you can't hit that pitch and you're trying to lay off of it. But you also don't want to miss the fastball down the middle.
1-2. Yeah, I'm watching his delivery, and there's a lot of moving parts. It almost reminds me of a late inning reliever's kind of motion, where the legs and arms are flying a little bit hard. It's hard. It looks like it's harder to repeat. And this is on the ground to short. Did he get him? Barely. Man, Dahl gets up the line. Rockies get a run back, and they tie things up at 3 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. The sac fly from Nolan Arenado. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru, and by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. What are those guys throwing? Their baseball cards. It's National Baseball Card Day. Bill, you got a package. Anybody good? Get any bubble gum?
Didn't get the bubble gum. They don't do that anymore. But I think most of these guys that I
want to know why that is?
Why?
Because the bubble gum was really stale.
Yeah, but at that age, you are excited. I remember my first bubble gum pack. I think probably broke a tooth, but it was, it was the best thing ever. Charlie Morton, I think he's on the disabled list. Andre Ethier, he's on the DL. Blaine Boyer, I think he's on the DL. So I didn't get a very good.
Who's the fourth guy?
Ben Revere. I think he's on the disabled list as well.
You got the all broken package.
Yeah.
Jenny, who'd you get?
I think I'll one-up you, Spilly. I have Travis d'Arnaud.
Okay.
Neil Walker.
Okay.
You got the all Mets package?
Right here. This is a good one. Kendrys Morales.
Yeah.
Ender Inciarte. Do I win?
You won because at least they can play right now. Your package.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you guys play games with your trading cards?
Yeah,
when you
we
were a kid?
flipped them. We used to flip cards. Here's
what does that even mean?
I'll show you.
Like
here.
Pogs?
Here, watch. We'll do it here in a second. It's 0-2 on Cesar Hernandez. Spilly, I'll give you 2. See, you can't. Well, I'll show it. So, hold on.
You're not supposed to know who the players are?
No, what you do is they're covered, and in the top part, back on the old Topps card, you know, there'd be different colors, red, blue. Remember, Dougie? Red, blue, green. They'd have different colors. So here's the deal. It's like if I won, you had to go down first. So go down.
Okay.
So flip your card over.
All right.
So we'll call that one blue, even though it's not. And if I put a card down and it's blue also, I get to take that one, and there's mine. It was like a game of war. And so then, you know, I would go down, and then, okay, nobody matches up. That one goes down. You go a different one. You might have a big pile, and all of a sudden red, red, or blue, blue, and I got it. I took all your cards, put them in my pocket, and went and played with somebody else in the school.
Rode your bike home.
Yeah. And you look and you go, I got Willie Mays, Willie Montanez, and Steve Carl all off Spilly today.
My dad and I, we collected baseball cards for a long time. We had a blast. We'd go to the baseball card shop, looking at, we liked finding the, it's gotta be a strike. We liked the cards that were the defect cards, where guys were normally right-handed hitters and they're hitting left-handed.
The picture was messed up.
We liked, that was what we wanted to find.
96 pitches in for Gray, 1 and 2 on Hernandez. About 50 of the pitches, it seems like, have come to Hernandez. I'll tell you another thing that was a great joy. A couple years ago, my father had dug up, you know, in old boxes, a bunch of my cards from when I was young, and brought them over and gave them to my kids. And they had a blast going through them. And naturally, this is foul.
Oh my goodness, come on. 21 pitches for Hernandez in the first 2 at-bats. What's he at right now?
This is the 32nd pitch to Hernandez tonight. That is almost 1/3. 1/3 of the pitches that John Gray has thrown tonight have been to Cesar Hernandez. I'll pick up that thought in a moment. That's high. So they would go through them, and now you're looking for, and they did some homework, now you're looking for rookie cards of prominent guys. And there were like 15 Ozzie Smith rookie cards. And now you're wanting to see what condition they're in. And I guess a pristine Ozzie Smith rookie card was worth like thousands and thousands of dollars. We thought we had one, and when we sent it out or had it looked at by somebody who would know what they were talking about, some of the lines were just a little bit off on the, you know, the card, how it wasn't centered perfectly.
Wasn't a Gem Mint 10?
No, it wasn't. So it went from like $30,000 to 30 cents. There's my story. 2 and 2, 101st pitch, and Hernandez is gone. John Gray says, good riddance. Tired of seeing you. 1 out.
Hey, Drew, you grew up in the New York area. We were talking to Walt about cards that he wanted to collect, and he said Reggie Jackson was king. If you got a Reggie Jackson, you were the cool kid on the block. He also said he was kind of a front runner, so he went with anyone from the Big Red Machine, which I love. But he said they used to put him on their bike spokes. Did you ever do that?
On a bike spokes?
Yeah, put cards on your bike spokes. I bet you Mark Stout did it.
Jenny, a lot of kids did do that. I didn't happen to do that.
Oh, did you not have a bike?
No, I actually had a bike. I just never did that. I don't know why. I know it sounded cool, though, when the card went through there. Reggie Jackson was a big get, and I was like Walt, because Walt and I are the same age, and we all wanted to be in wiffle ball, the Cincinnati Reds team. So in wiffle ball, I would always, I was a Mets fan growing up, but I would always, their lineup, I didn't want to be Bud Harrell. I would rather be Joe Morgan than Bud Harrelson, rather be Cesar Geronimo. You could be George Foster, bench. That beat being Jerry Grody and Bud Harrelson and Felix Mian.
I was always the Oakland A's in the 80s. I'd rather be Carney Lansford and McGuire and Jose Canseco than the Dodgers team where it was Mickey Hatcher and Steve Sachs. I mean, well, same type of thing.
And in the late 80s, you could have been Walt Weiss if you were going to be the A's.
I think we still have boxes of Topps cards from the late 80s. My brother used to always ask for 2 boxes. One that he could unwrap and trade with his friends or, you know, have to have for his collection, and one that he would save. And I don't think he ever opened those, and they're probably worth nothing now. So he really missed his opportunity on that. But
you know, I almost, Jenny, that's really smart. And I almost did that for my kids, and then, you know, you get caught up in other gifts, and I didn't do that. Where you buy one full slate of Topps cards, you do it every year, never open it, because at some point, you know, like Mike Trout's rookie card, it'll be worth a lot of money. So he may actually in the long run, be the smart guy?
I don't know. I think he lost his chance to cash in on cards. But maybe not.
I have an unopened box with Ken Griffey Jr.'s rookie upper deck card, which it's at home. Like the entire, I didn't open up the upper. I think it's 1991 upper deck.
Well, while Steve Foster visits with John Gray, they're trying to get him through this 5th inning. The pitch count well over 100. 1 on, 1 out. And Altair coming up. Let's quickly go to our Denver studios on this Fan Friday. Check in again with Mark. I didn't say that. Jenny figured you did. I don't, you know, Mark, you grew up in Jersey. I grew up in New York. I don't remember the mosquito sprayer truck. I remember, yeah, I remember the ice cream, the Good Humor Man. Huh.
Makes sense. Perfect sense now.
Now you know the rest of the story. All right, Mark.
So they used
you know
to
my
have
favorite Little League story is, real quick?
Let me hear it.
So the all-star team from your league were the early stages of the road to Williamsport. And I hit a 2-run home run, center field, jogging around the bases. This ball's a bullet up the middle. And see if the Rockies allow John Gray to continue. He's going to face Franco, who he struck out twice, so they may. 2 on and 1 out in a 3-3 game. Looking down in the dugout, no movement yet from Walt. He's gotten the next 2 guys. He's gotten Franco and he's gotten Ryan Howard twice. Scott Oberg's up in the Rockies pen. Ground ball to second, and a low throw, safe there. And Daniel Descalso immediately signals toward Walt to look at it. The second base umpire is Adrian Johnson. He gave the safe call on the backhand flip from DJ.
You see where DJ is set up with the shift. He has to move to his right. So it takes him out of position, and he has to throw the backhand at it. DJ looks like he keeps his foot, or Descalso looks like he keeps his foot on the bag.
And he caught it in the air, too. So let's see. We could go back. I mean, his foot is, you know, I think kicking the base, sliding past the base.
This angle looks like Descalso's foot's on the bag.
You can't use that angle, though, to overturn it because you can't see. See if this one provides a better look.
This is occasionally I look at the shift and I understand why the shift is in play, but at times you'll see that's a routine double play ball for DJ if you're standing in the quote-unquote double play depth and you're forcing a hitter, you're trying to force the hitter to hit into that shift. But if you have a pitcher make his pitch and the hitter hits it in a natural spot, now you have your Gold Glove infielder going to a spot that's out of position for him based on the shift.
Number one, he's got it clearly. Now, can you determine if the toe is on the base? That's the whole deal. He clearly caught the baseball before Altair got there.
Altair is 6'5", born in Germany.
Grew up in Arizona. He's a big kid.
Yep.
About that twin born in Germany, hitting all the home runs.
Max Kepler.
Max Kepler.
There's 4 other major leaguers born in Germany to play in the major leagues this year. Edwin Jackson, born in Germany. Max Kepler and Bruce Maxwell. They call him safe?
They called him safe. I think what happened in New York is we'll get the notice in a moment via email that they just couldn't determine enough to overturn it. And now the bases are loaded, 1 out, and you have Ryan Howard at the plate. Could provide the opportunity, if you get another ground ball, as Gray has done twice against Howard, to turn a double play. Obviously, Ryan does not run well. Ball 1. John Gray's next pitch will be number 110. He did throw 115 in a ball game in Atlanta, going 7 shutout innings. This ball clobbered. Grand slam, Ryan Howard. Big man's got a little left in the tank. And the last month it's been on display in part-time duty. That's his 6th home run in his last 25 starts and his 14th career grand slam. 7-3 Philadelphia.
Bases loaded. Not a lot of room for error for John Gray. Has to come after Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard does what he does. If he gets a pitch he can handle, he can drive it out of the ballpark. Howard a little more spread out than he was earlier in the season. A lot less head movement. That is his 9th home run in the last 25 games. And Ryan Howard just took a curtain call at Citizens Bank Park.
John Gray in his last outing gave up 8 runs in 3 2/3. He's given up 7 runs tonight in 4 1/3. Tonight, the man who eventually replaced him, Big Ryan Howard, hits a grand slam in front of his former skipper Charlie Manuel as well. And that was absolutely hammered. So another rough outing for John Gray. 4 1/3, 7 runs, 6 earned, 6 hits, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. And now Scott Oberg to face Cameron Rupp. That slider up in the zone. That's fouled off. Ryan Howard, career home run number 374. 76th on the all-time list, tied with Rocky Colavito. Now the deal for Scott, he's gotten hit hard his last couple times out. It's really been the same. It's true for any pitchers. Scott's got great stuff, but when his stuff is belt high, the results have not been good.
No, it's just what we witnessed with John Gray. And with John Gray, what's been interesting is, you know, many people think, hey, he's got to command the fastball. He's throwing it for strikes. He's throwing fastballs for strikes, but he's not throwing it in good pitchers' locations. He's not making pitchers pitches. And this is the same problem that Scott Oberg has had.
Rupp's gone, a 97-mile-an-hour tailing fastball. And I know fans at home, you get frustrated and you say, well, you know, Scott Oberg keeps getting opportunities. He's going to continue to get opportunities because he has stuff like that. That's 97 with a lot of movement.
A lot of movement and good secondary pitches. He's been backing it up with the quality slider, and he still has the wrinkle, the curveball. But if you're missing middle, belt high, no matter how hard you throw or how good your stuff is, it's going to get hit.
It's as hard as we've seen him throw. That was 98. And that's a high strike. Freddie Galvis didn't say anything, and it was in the zone. 0-2. Boy, that was nasty. Oberg over the top with a hard curveball. 2 strikeouts in the inning. A grand slam from Ryan Howard. Now the Rockies are down by 4 going to the 6th. Much more at abqisotopes.com. Good looking stuff. Go check it out. The Albuquerque Isotopes, proud AAA affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. Well, now the Rockies are down by 4 after the grand slam by Ryan Howard. 7-3 Philadelphia. They've made a pitching change. Elvis Araujo's on the mound, the only lefty they have in the bullpen. Jake Thompson went 5 innings. He's on the plus side. John Gray is on the other side of things. Gerardo Parra, Nick Hundley, Ben Paulson. So this was tweeted out earlier today by Trevor Story. This is left ankle Latino therapy for my guy Scargo and Gerardo Parra.
Oh man, I wish I never saw that.
This is how you get your ankles well. I love it. You never turned your ankle and did that dance?
It must be taped up pretty good.
Parra, a single and a line drive to right. And slider misses, ball 1. We need to see that again.
The Rockies score, we'll show it again. How about that? We'll save it.
You know what we have to perhaps break out later if the score doesn't change dramatically in 2 innings? You know what it is.
The Rally BK video.
The Rally. When was the last time we saw the Rally BK video?
We haven't seen it in a while, and it works.
2-0's in there, 2-1.
The Rally Latino video.
We may have to put that on the Rally shelf also. Franco makes the catch. Nick Hundley reached on an error, and in the process in the 2nd inning drove in a run, also a fly ball to center field. So officially 0 for 2. The RBI was Nick's 30th of the season. Trying to snap out of a 1 for 22.
Araujo is a big lefty, 6'7", 275 pounds. That was pretty good stuff. Recently recalled when the Phillies put Zach Eflin on the disabled list with patella knee tendonitis.
Played power forward on the winter basketball team. Now that's Matt Caris City, the newest member of the Rockies bullpen. That's a strike. He's called up in closing games in AA and more recently in Albuquerque. Excited about seeing him. (3-1) base hit. That snaps an 0 for 12 also for Nick. So a 1-out single, and that'll bring up Paulson.
Live Rockies baseball is here with MLB.com. At bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected with live stats, news, and more. Probably be a pretty tough at bat for Ben Paulson, lefty. There's some deception there with crossfire of the 6'7" Araujo.
Araujo's from same city as Cargo, Maracaibo in Venezuela. 1 ball, 1 strike on Paulson. Ben hit a home run in the first part of the season when he was up with the Rockies. That came in Cincinnati. I think Did a really good job last year. A lot of big hits late. Two and two.
Rajo against left-handed hitters will use primarily fastball slider. Does have a changeup, but does not like to use it against lefties.
Another 2-2, and that ball's in the air to center field. Herrera's out there. And bring up Descalso. The Rockies are really tilted right now toward the left side. Without Trevor Story for the rest of the regular season, and then you lose Mark Reynolds for a significant period. You learned earlier today. They're two big right-handed bats, and they've primarily been replaced by left-handed hitters. Descalso getting a lot of time at short, left-handed hitter. And there's a line drive to right, and that's caught. Ben Paulson just called up, left-handed hitter. Hundley left at first base, middle of 6, 7-3 Philadelphia from Citizens Bank.
Game about his big call-up story.
I was walking across the street to get dinner in Colorado Springs, and our manager, G. Hill, texted me. I didn't have his number because I had just gotten there a couple weeks before, and said he had something for me and I had to come to the room ASAP. So I was a little nervous, and then I went there and he said he was fining me for not wearing a collared shirt, even though I was. So I was kind of confused, and then asked me if I had like a sport coat, and I said no, I have a suit. And he said, oh, you're going to need it because you're going to the big leagues. It was pretty cool.
Well, Glenn Allen Hill, always a jokester, having some fun there with Caris City, telling him he was coming to the big leagues. You can tell he just went out to the mound smiling ear to ear. Nick Hundley just walked out and said, just have fun. You could tell he was just trying to calm him down before this outing. Talked with Darren Holmes before the game. He said they're really excited about this addition right now. They needed a fresh arm so bad down in the bullpen. They get a power pitcher in Matt. He throws about 95 to 97, but guys, he was also a boxer growing up, so that's part of his background, to be a competitor, to be a fighter, and I think you'll see that on the mound. Wall always likes to work guys in in a situation like this early, but you can guarantee if he proves himself within the next couple weeks, we'll see this guy when the game's on the line.
Well, he's a Northeastern kid. He grew up in Connecticut, was the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Connecticut, drafted late out of high school, chose to be a Johnny. Went to St. John's and was drafted out of St. John's by the Rockies. In addition to that heavy fastball that Jenny was talking about, he has a great splitter. First batter he'll face is Peter Borges, and the fastball at 96 missed off the corner. 1-0. Major league debut for Matt Caris City. Rangers were the team that drafted him out of high school.
Nick Hundley with the savvy vet move throughout the first pitch that Caris City threw. Toss it out to the Rockies dugout.
One of the things I liked in looking at his numbers this year between Hartford and Albuquerque, he walked only 9 guys. Only 9 walks in 46 innings. And Borges hits a high fly ball to the left.
I spent some time talking with Zach Wilson. That's Rockies' main director of player development, and was asking about Caris City, and he was raving about the makeup and how he's grown over the last year and a half. Loves the fastball, but the secondary pitch, the split finger, can throw it at any count, can throw it for strikes, and more importantly, can use one to wipe it out the hitter, get the strikeouts with it.
Center field. It's Taylor Featherston, a former Rocky farmhand. He flies out, 2 gone. Rockies made a change. Christian Adames comes in the ball game at short. Daniel Descalso goes to first base. Paulson comes out. Cesar Hernandez, who's had quite a ball game, a triple, a walk, and a strikeout. And I say quite a ball game because he saw in the neighborhood, I think, of 34 pitches from John Gray. John threw 110 pitches. That was the number on the dot. 34 pitches by himself and 3 at bats that Hernandez saw. Maybe it set the tone for the night when in a 13 pitch at bat in the first inning, he eventually tripled against Gray.
It's a huge at bat. He was down 1-2 early, quick. John was working efficient, and then Hernandez threw the best at bat of the night, leading off the game.
There's that splitter. Wow, that is pretty devastating.
It's a nice secondary pitch to have. You can throw it to lefties, throw it to righties. If that's the one he throws for a strike, I'm curious what the wipeout one looks like.
Base hit.
Caris City tried a quick pitch Hernandez and throw a fastball by him without coming set. Hernandez was ready for it. See, he doesn't even set, gets up and throws it. Sometimes you'll see pitchers do that. Jeurys Familia famously did it last year in the World Series to Alex Gordon. And the thing is when you're going to do that, oftentimes guys will lose the mechanics because they have to go quick. And if you lose mechanics throw strikes. That's where you're able to locate the pitch. Even though you're catching a guy off guard, you may miss middle.
Herrera takes ball 1. Rockies down 7-3. They've been out hit 7-3. Just 3 hits through 6 innings for Colorado. Both teams have committed an error. Odubel's 1 for 2 and a walk. And a ground ball under the glove of Descalso. LeMahieu playing chase. Finally, Parra comes up with the baseball. It's first and third on the error by Descalso.
Rare gets the bat head out, slips right under Descalso's glove. He's holding Hernandez on at first base. That will probably go down as an error. Indeed, that's an error on Daniel Descalso at first base.
Here's Aaron Altair. Sharp single to center in the 5th inning. Facing Caris City. And that ball is in the air to shallow right. That'll drop in for a run. 8-3. .13th RBI for Altair.
Well, in general, tonight the Rockies have not played clean baseball. Error comes back to bite him. Looks like a slider that caught too much part of the plate, even though it's off the end of the bat.
Franco takes ball 1 at 97. Before the break, Franco hit .269 with 18 home runs, 52 ribbies. Post break, 192 home runs, only 14 RBIs. 0 for 3 tonight. That's a splitter in the dirt, 1-1. That guy at first is intriguing, isn't he? Aaron Altair. Mother was a U.S. service member. That's why he was born in Germany. She married a former German soccer player. So Aaron played in 2012 for the German national team in the World Baseball Classic qualifying round. Big kid, man, size 16 feet.
Those are some big flippers.
One and two.
Another split finger up in the zone. The Caris City got away with the one. Franco making the face. Please throw that again. Well, 20 home runs for Franco. That's the first time since Scott Rowland in 2001 has hit 20 home runs or more by a Phillies third baseman.
Off the end of the bat. You know, think about back 07, 09 when you guys were competing against the Phils and they rolled out an all-star lineup. The one spot where you said, okay, they're just average, if you will, was at third base. You had Utley, you had Rollins, you had Ryan Howard, you know, Carlos Ruiz was coming into his own. Shane Victorino was here. You had Jason Worth,
Aaron Rowan.
Strike three. So Caris City gives up an unearned run, and now it's 8-3 Philadelphia as we go to the 7th. Here's our Cooney Lexus look back. This was in the first inning after a triple by Hernandez, a base hit by Adubel Herrera, and the Phillies had a 1-0 lead. Rockies were down 3-1 when Chuck Nasty went deep again, his 16th of the year. That made it 3-2. The Rockies would tie it at 3. And then with the bases loaded, Ryan Howard absolutely obliterated that fastball. 13th career grand slam. Check it, 14th career grand slam for Ryan Howard. And now the Rockies trail 8-3 as they come up in the 7th inning. Christian Adames is going to lead it off, and the new pitcher for Philadelphia is Adubre Ramos.
Well, Dubre does not want to see the Rockies. Has a 1.42 ERA against every other team in baseball, but a 33.75 ERA. That's 5 earned runs in 1 1/3 against the Rocks.
Fastball misses up high, ball 1. First at bat for Adames, just came into the ball game. Blackmon and LeMahieu to follow. Curveball for a strike. It's hard to lose 3 middle of the order type of hitters. Carr goes out of the lineup right now. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. Available tonight if this game tightens up. Trevor Story and now Mark Reynolds down for 4 to 6 weeks with the broken hamate bone. Your lineup's just going to be light. There's no other way to describe it. And Adames is gone.
Sunday, August 21st is Air Force Academy Day. Falcon fans can purchase a special ticket package to receive a limited edition Air Force Academy themed Rockies hat.
Fighting Falcons.
Now, I mentioned this before. When you lose 2 players, and obviously I'm not a fan of using WAR, especially during the season. It's a better look and a gauge if you're into advanced stats at the end of the season. But regardless, it's still a good litmus test to tell you where your players are at. And when you're missing your 2nd and 3rd best players based on those values, Trevor Story and Carlos Gonzalez, that makes your lineup really difficult to try to find that production back. That's why David Dahl has been such a key addition for this team. But you're going to have to get production from other players as well.
Curveball's outside, 2 balls and a strike. Charlie 4 hits yesterday, multi-hit games in 4 in a row, and now he's got a 3-1 pitch to work with. That's fouled off Cameron Rupp's mask.
It looked like Charlie is trying to hit the 5-run home run. Charlie's been putting up a Herculean effort of late. 4 for 6 yesterday with a much-needed win for the Rockies. Big home run and a walk so far today, 1 for 3. But he's going to need a lot more help.
This ball's well hit to left field, really well hit. And another home run for Charlie Blackmon. He goes oppo. 17 big flies now for Blackmon. He makes it 8-4.
Charlie's been wanting to hit the ball opposite field for a home run for a long time. He just drove that pitch after 3-1, swinging hard through the fastball. Gets a pitch, it travels a little bit deeper into his bat path, and he crushes it. That is a beautiful swing for somebody that, as I've described, is primarily a pull hitter to go opposite field. If it was a cheesesteak, he catches it.
Exactly. Here's a strike on LeMahieu. Well, he heard you. Charlie heard you. He was offended by the statement you made earlier in the ball game, and for you, he goes out to left field. 5th time he's had a multi-home run game. Had one earlier this year against the Yankees. 17 home runs, 2 shy of his career high. And among leadoff hitters in baseball. DJ throws a base hit out there. Among leadoff hitters in baseball, Charlie's #1 in the National League in home runs. He's #4 overall. Mookie Betts, who primarily leads off for Boston, has 23. Ian Kinsler has 21 with Detroit. And Adam Jones has 18 for Baltimore. And then Charlie was 17. Impressive. It's a good group to be associated with.
Adam Jones is really a 3-hole hitter that
they moved this year.
They moved to as a leadoff. He doesn't have the same skill set that Charlie Blackmon has.
Nolan takes a strike. Rockies down 4, trying to get themselves back in it. Sac fly to deep right in the 5th inning for Arenado to drive in his 93rd. That leads the National League. DJ takes off and the pitch is fouled off. 0-2. Cargo's entertaining when he plays, and he's the guy you most want to sit next to, I guess, right?
Most of the time.
This is bounced to second. There's one, and on the first double play. That'll end the inning. Blackmon hits one out to left. Earlier, he hit one out to right center. It's 8-4 Philadelphia, stretch time. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. In South Philly, the Phils leading the Rockies 8-4, first of 3 ball games, and the reason being this man, Ryan Howard, in a 3-3 game in the 5th inning, hit a grand slam off of John Gray. A no-doubter to extreme right center. And Ryan loses the bat. He'll sacrifice that for a punt single to left. getting more and more playing time because he's producing. He has 7 RBIs in his last 2 games.
I noticed a little mechanical adjustment that Ryan Howard has made. He's spread out. A lot of movement earlier in the season when I saw him hit. Sometimes a little adjustment, especially as you get older. You're trying to shorten up that bat path. You don't have the same path that you used to. And just by widening out your stride, it's just preventing the amount of head movement to get that barrel to the ball.
Cameron Rupp, an infield hit and a couple of strikeouts. Matt Caris City's 2nd inning of work in his major league debut.
Well, somebody that might be playing his last game tonight, probably the most polarizing figure, and somebody that I grew up idolizing for a time being until he made several bad mistakes. Alex Rodriguez with the New York Yankees. Tonight's his final game.
He wanted to play third. That's a base hit. Joe Girardi said no because he hasn't played the field all year. I know he had a hit earlier. What else has he done?
Nothing. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI and a strikeout. And a double in the 1st inning.
Place probably went nuts. Sometimes it's amazing at how forgiving we are as a group of people. Jordan Miles starting to toss. 2 on, nobody out. Freddie Galvis.
A-Rod is like Barry Bonds to me. Those guys, they should just play clean. They were the best players on the planet.
You know, who knows what motivates each individual to do what they do. That's out of play.
It's fitting as well that A-Rod's last game may be against the Tampa Bay Rays just because Evan Longoria idolized A-Rod. He even runs like him. He tried to mimic everything that he did. And some guys, I know some people in baseball are going to be happy to see him leave. But for a guy like Evan Longoria, who, he looked up to that guy, I'm sure it means a lot more to Evan tonight than maybe a lot of other players on the field.
Well, if A-Rod never plays again, there's some talk that maybe he would be courted by Miami, his hometown. He's going to finish with over 3,100 hits and a few home runs shy of 700. 1-2. And anymore, when you look at that whole era in particular, who knows who did what?
Yeah, you really can't tell. I remember that 96 year for A-Rod. Led the American League in hitting, 358 batting average, 36 home runs, 123 RBIs.
3-2.
Playing that Gold Glove shortstop. Somebody was saying, as good as Mike Trout was, or is right now, currently, in all the stuff he was doing, A-Rod was Mike Trout as a shortstop.
Well, I mean, he could run, he could hit the ball over the wall. It's a fair comparison, way outside. Now the bases are loaded. Caris City in the 6th inning in his debut gave up an unearned run. He got the first 2 guys out, gave up a base hit, then should have been out of the inning. Odubel Herrera hit a ground ball to first, and Descalso didn't handle it. So there was runners at first and second, and then Aaron Altair threw out a soft single to right to drive in a run. Then he struck out Michael Franco. Now it's 2 hits and a walk. Bases loaded, nobody out. To say that it's been a rough ride for the bullpen the last week would be a grand understatement. It's been bad.
Not a place you want to be in.
And they had a period right after the All-Star break when the Rockies were winning every night, where coupled with great starting pitching, they were very, very good. But
over the
last week,
haul, yeah.
it's been rough. Peter Borges at the plate. Double play ball. There's one, and on the first double play, a run scores. We're up to third. Howard scores the 9th run for Philadelphia. Jimmy Paredes is going to pitch hit. This is the pitcher spot. Paredes, former Astro. The Fanatic remains entertaining.
I love the Fanatic. I used to think I could do his whole skit. If he put me in that suit, I think I could do it. I do jazz hands and rub my belly.
But can you drive the little Fanatic mobile like he drives it?
I've stolen the keys. You're supposed to steal the keys, a rite of passage. For any big leaguer, is try to go, and he usually parks his four-wheeler right by the dugout, visiting dugout, and then he makes fun of you. And as he's making fun of the team, you grab the keys, and then you make him earn it back.
What I'm not sure is why is he trying to put a hex on his own guy?
It's just what he does. The best thing he's ever done, earning back, was Jeff Francoeur, who's with the Braves at the time, forced the Philly Fanatic to do the chop, the tomahawk chop. And his right arm, the Fanatic's arm, couldn't do it until he did the sign of the cross and did it a couple times and earned the key. Still one of my favorites.
Here's the 1-2 and a called strike 3. 96-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside corner. Another run in the inning, and it's 9-4 Philadelphia. Challenge poll question. Nolan Arenado has now hit 30 home runs in 2 consecutive seasons. Who was the last Rocky to accomplish this feat? Was it Hilton? Was it Holiday? Was it Cargo? Was it all three? It can't be all three. Pick one. Go to @RootsSports_RM to cast your vote. Cargo visiting with Trevor Story. Rockies would love to have those two guys in the lineup. Hopefully tomorrow for Cargo, if not tomorrow, Sunday. David Dahl, Gerardo Parra, Nick Hundley. David Dahl has a 17-game hitting streak to begin his career, tied a major league record. He is 0 for 3 tonight, trying to stand in the record books all by himself. And this could be his last at bat. Hopefully it is not, with the Rockies down by 5 runs, but just 6 outs left. Hector Neris is now in. Been a busy man all year for Philadelphia out of their bullpen. And that fastball's outside.
Yeah, he leads baseball or National League in relief appearances with 58. He's also tied for 3rd for relievers with 72 strikeouts. Has really good stuff.
He's proud of his fastball, and that could be a good matchup for Dahl. He got a lot of breaking balls earlier in the ball game. But that, whatever that was dirty. That had splitter action on it. 1 and 2.
It was a split finger.
And he got him with a splitter.
Well,
Neris strikes out more than 30% of the guys he faces. He's got good stuff. 1 out. That'll bring up Parra, who's 1 for 3. Who wants tacos? Fans follow @RootsSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special. And the Rockies score 7 runs in a game.
Dahl will have to start a new streak tomorrow.
Well, let's hope he gets up again.
That'd be nice.
Outside ball 1 on Parra. Phillies up 9-4 on the Rockies. 4-game set right before the All-Star break was split in Denver. Tommy Reynolds while White's discussing something. Rockies will go to their bullpen again in the 8th inning. Do you think it's fatigue with John Gray, or you think it's just one of those deals where the last couple outings hasn't had his best stuff?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think when I was watching him, when you're missing that many times up in the zone, there's get the strikeout of Parra. It was obviously a mechanical issue, and Jenny was telling me earlier he spent some time in between the 5 days. He was working with Steve Foster and trying to get the load over the rubber, making sure he got on his backside, and that would allow him to get in his legs more, get on top of the baseball, and really drive the baseball down in the strike zone. And I'm not seeing those pitches down in the strike zone. We saw maybe 2 tonight, good fastballs down and well located. Otherwise, it was not located well throughout the night.
Nick Hundley drives this pitch to center field, his 2nd hit tonight. Good to see. Now the Rockies will send up Ryan Rayburn. This is the pitcher's spot. 7-hole. Rayburn's only had 16 career bats against the Phils, but he's like, bring him on. He's 7 for 16.
Tell you what, having played at Citizens Bank Park and having good numbers here, two things as a hitter you love about this ballpark. Number one, it's small. You can hit the ball anywhere out of the ballpark, and we've seen it with Charlie Blackmon hitting his first opposite field homer of the season. But number two, the batter's eye in center field is a gigantic green batter's eye, and it is fantastic to hit at. Provides so much coverage that you can see the baseball nice and clear. One of the things that hitters look at is the batter's eye and how big and how green it can be.
One ball, 2 strikes on Rayburn. And Rayburn chases into dirt. That's a vicious splitter he's got. He struck out the side. Hundley left at first base. Good inning for Hector Neris, 9-4. Good night so far for the Phils. Our Kubota pitching performance. We look at the 2 starters. John Gray, another tough night at the office after giving up 9 runs in his last outing. He gives up tonight 7 runs, 6 earned in 4 1/3. Jake Thompson, in his second big league start, limited the Rockies to 3 runs on just 2 hits. And John was forced to throw 111 pitches in just 4 1/3. 9-4 is our score. With Ryan Adams Spilborgs and Jenny Kavner, I'm Drew Goodman. Jordan Lyles takes over here in the 8th inning. 2 innings in the debut for Matt Caris City. He allowed 2 runs, 1 earned, 4 hits, a walk, a couple of strikeouts. So now he can take a deep breath. He got that out of the way, and not quite a veteran, but no longer the maiden voyage. 1 out as Nolan, who hasn't had many chances tonight, throws out Cesar Hernandez. What's he doing swinging at the first pitch, putting it in play?
It's ridiculous. It has been a gnat the entire night.
Odubel Herrero come up. Fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike on a double. And Jordan Lyles with a changeup, and it's 1-2.
Good pitch. That's the beauty of being a former starting pitcher for Jordan Horton Lyles. You have multiple pitches that you can use.
Sometimes guys have to pare down. A lot of starters are minimum 3-pitch guys, but a lot of times 4-pitch guys. A lot of bullpen guys who work out of the bullpen coaches, pitching coaches will tell their guys, have 2 pitches that you trust when you jog out of that bullpen. Trying to get 3 outs most of the time.
Jordan's trying to find a pitch that he can throw inside the lefties. And the slider for him, he's trying to get that pitch 89 miles an hour, trying to get it to bite underneath the left-hander's hands. And so far, in 3 attempts, it's been flat and up in the zone. Changeup has worked better for him. And he needs to trust that fastball. The fastball is running in 95, 96 with some good depth.
There it was, but it was off the plate, 3-2. And that's off the plate.
The first 15,000 through the gates on Sunday, August 21st, will receive a Nolan Arenado Gold Glove Minor bobblehead, courtesy of Newmont Mining and Project Cure.
For the 5th time tonight, here's the left fielder, Aaron Altair. 2 for 4, a couple of singles, runs scored, and an RBI. I've heard this before. His best sport growing up was basketball, actually. Until he hit .436 his senior year. Self-defense swing, 1-1.
That's a good 2-seamer for Jordan Lyles. At times he has trouble locating it just because it runs so much.
That slider was in the middle of the plate, fouled off. Nolan lost it, throws to first, out at first. Popped out of his glove momentarily, lost any chance of getting Herrera. 2 outs.
Even though that doesn't go down as a double play, most fielders absolutely panic when this happens. And for Nolan, see him look it back into the glove and the quick strike to first base. That's an error for most people.
Maikel Franco's 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. And where is that? 1-0. On Franco. Guess who's playing third base now? Spilly for the Yankees.
Nice send-off.
Oh my goodness. You know what? That it's just a collective for me lack of concentration right now.
Agreed. Again, it's hot. We've had a night game, day game. It's a weird schedule, but you still have to be able to focus in on a routine ground ball. Everybody makes errors. You get that. But in general, tonight's game for the Rockies has been sloppy.
Rockies have made 3 errors. There's been a wild pitch that forced in a run. Ryan Howard. Howard tonight, a grand slam in the 5th, a single in the 7th, and a run scored. Hitting above 350 in the second half, albeit part-time duty, but still more than 40 at bats. And it got so tough for Ryan in the first half, where he sat down for multiple days in a row. Tommy Joseph was playing most of the time at first.
I think you're looking at, with the waiver wires, and every player on every major league roster is going to go through it through the month of August. And based on how well he's played, obviously no one's going to claim him in the contract, and maybe somebody might. Maybe an American League team might look at him. Maybe a National League team might consider him as a pinch hitter. But I would not expect to see Ryan Howard at the end of the season with this fighting Phillies team.
You know what? That's going to be a base hit. He's got a 5 RBI night. That error really costly now. It's 10-4. Respectfully, I actually disagree. I think he means so much to this franchise, and unless Spilly, here's where I would agree. Unless there's some team out there truly where they want him, they're going to the postseason, and they do him a favor. But this guy is, he's one of the all-time Phillies.
No doubt, he's going to be on the Wall of Fame at some point. You can see limited head movement. The swing for Ryan Howard, that's nice for where he's at now. That's a good swing for Ryan Howard.
Cameron Rupp. His first 5 RBI game in over 2 years. And he had his last 5 RBI game against?
The Rocks.
Against the Rockies on May 26, 2014. It's his 13th career game of at least 5 RBIs.
We talk about sloppy play tonight. 3 errors for the Colorado Rockies in all time. You should know this answer. You make this many errors, you do not deserve to win. Rockies all time 33-90.
I wouldn't have thought it was that good with 3 or more errors. Rupp is 2 for 4. 11 hits tonight for the Phils. Strike on the outside corner will end the inning. An unearned run against Jordan Lyles. 5 RBIs for Ryan Howard. We'll go to the 9th. 10-4 Philadelphia. wells.com and by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. From South Philly, we go to South Denver. Well, not really. We go to Lodo. How about that? Here's Mark Stout. Well, thank you very much, Mark. I hope you guys are paying attention here. Did a little homework earlier because somewhere in the deep recesses of my mind, I remember.
That's a Kurt Schilling line, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Please don't.
Okay,
go
keep
there.
going.
First pitch to Descalso is in there for a strike from David Hernandez. But somewhere in the deep recesses of my mind, I recalled many a good night for my buddy Ryan Spilborghs here at the bank. 1 out. And I was right. Do you know that you hit higher in this ballpark than any other ballpark you played in? In fact, you hit .408 at the bank with 3 home runs.
It's because I faced Jamie Moyer every time here.
Every time. Well, no, you had 49 career at-bats here, so you faced some other guys. You always hit well here. And I got to thinking after I read that, I'm like, my man may be the greatest Rocky ever at Citizens Bank Park. But alas, I was wrong.
Who's better than me?
You're just the second best Rocky all time at the bank.
Oh, no. Oh, great. Okay.
Crushing, isn't it?
It felt like I just I just pushed that rock up the mountain, and unlike was it Prometheus that watched it, this time this one rolled me over and just splatted me.
I want you to know I had no idea. I didn't. I looked. I said, man, Spilly hit 408 here.
You guys set me up.
No, I didn't. And I said to Dougie, yeah, Corey? Which tells you what a joke this field. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. No, but I had no idea, and I had Dougie. I go, look this up. I said, Spilly may be the greatest Rocky of all at the bank. Guys with 50 or more plate appearances. Adames goes down. He looks it up, and there's Sully on top. I said, this is not going to go well.
I'm making a comeback.
Well, we were bragging on you earlier. I don't know if you're out to dinner, but Spilly brought it up. You hit one. You hit one off the facade of the second deck here.
Oh my God!
Were you standing at second base?
Oh my God! All you had
to do was get the barrel out. No. Do you still have it? You still have it on your phone, I'm sure.
I want to see Charlie Blackmon turn 97 around and hit his 3rd jack of the night.
That would be a nice sight. Charlie went oppo taco earlier in the ball game, and also a shot to the second deck in right center in the 3rd. About all the Rockies can get excited about tonight, the work of Blackmon.
Well, Charlie's going for it. Might as well.
David Hernandez with a 2-2 count. 2 outs in the 9th inning. 10-4 Philadelphia.
Why would you set Corey up like that, Drew? I thought we were friends. Got him.
This ball crushed to right, way back. Stay fair. He did it. A 3-jack game for Charlie Blackmon. How do you like that? Move over, Jason Giambi. You've got company.
A rough night for the Rockies just in general, but Charlie Blackmon, he has his ace swing going tonight. Had it going yesterday, 4 for 6 against the Rangers tonight. He gets to trot around the bases at Citizen Bank. Not just once, not twice, the 3 times he took a nice hack on a 2-0 pitch, and he does not miss the 2-1. That is nice, Charlie.
And you know, 3 no doubters.
No doubters way back.
Breaking ball misses to LeMahieu. It's 1-1.
It is really, there should be only one guy in that clubhouse tonight that should feel good about tonight, and that's Charlie Blackmon.
'15th Rockies 3-homer game. Last player to do it was Cargo in June of 2013. Two to LeMahieu. And DJ hits one to deep left. This has got a chance to get out. And LeMahieu's gone deep. 10-6 for DJ, his 8th of the year. That'll draw a smile from Chuck Nasty. Those two guys are very close.
Have a year, DJ LeMahieu. Take his shot. Oftentimes when you see DJ pull a baseball, it's because he has an off-speed pitch and he gets one up. Dylan Hernandez leaves it there. DJ sends it out. He knew it right off the bat. Now you're hoping that Nolan puts a quality at bat together and give David Dahl another shot.
Yeah, it seemed like a remote possibility a little while ago.
That a boy, DJ.
Get out of play. It will.
I just appreciate the fact that DJ and Charlie, a night that it's been tough to play, and the Rockies in general have just not played to their level of play, that they still give their quality at bats. They've not tossed the bat away tonight.
One and two on Nolan. The top of the Rockies order has been on 7 times tonight. 7 out of 10 plate appearances with 4 home runs. Outside of the top 2 in their lineup, they have 2 hits, and Nick Hundley owns them both. And let me correct that. Gerardo Parra has a hit also. Outside the top 2, there's 3 hits. 3 through 9 in their order. 1-2. Emergency hat. And the 1-2 is punched out of play down that right field line. DJ lines this to left, but it's going to curve. Or Nolan lines it to left, curves out of play. He's got one of those Cesar Hernandez at bats going now. Fouls off a million pitches. Look out. It's a breaking ball. And it's still coming up and in. 2-2.
Oftentimes when a pitch gets away from a pitcher, the catcher and the umpire will yell at the hitter to look out.
Two and two. And just foul. Nolan trying to keep it alive. Give David Dahl another chance to hit.
These at bats for a hitter, such a grind. Down 4, trying to find your ace swing. It's getting closer, you can feel it creeping. You're also frustrated because of the pitches that you normally handle, you're fouling them back. And at the major league level, if a pitcher misses location and you miss it, you usually don't get another one.
Well, this is popped up and playable. Freddie Galvis calling for it. He's got it, and that's the ball game. So David Dahl's streak of 17 straight will die here on a Friday night in Philadelphia. And the Rockies fall 10-6 despite 3 home runs from Charlie Blackmon. Ryan Howard reached back into his MVP contention years and threw out a 5 RBI night, highlighted by a grand slam. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, provided by big Ryan Howard. It was 3-3 in the 5th inning when he was taking on John Gray, and he hit a thigh-high fastball about 440. 14th career grand slam, 13 career games with 5 or more RBIs, and he led the Phils to a victory tonight over the Rockies, 10-6. The winning pitcher, Jake Thompson, his first career victory. John Gray suffers the loss. He's 8-6. Rockies fall 4 games beneath 500, 56-60. Philadelphia now 54-63. With that, we take you back to our Denver studios. Here's Mark Stout. Mark.